Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a best-of-5 Terran versus Protoss from the AlphaX Super Series. AlphaX's very own up-and-coming Protoss. Let me introduce to you Zoun. He's not reached that level of consistency that you'd like to see in order to continually and constantly challenge the best, but he's definitely up there and has some of the most exciting games because of his high-risk, high-reward style. Now, essentially the definition of high-risk, high-reward, and this time the reward probably not going to be very high. You know him, you love him, it's Micro Jackson, it's ByuN's. Getting his proxy racks scouted right outside of Zoun's base in the very first game. Yep, of course. Unfortunate. Oh my. Ah! Okay, calm down. Calm down. I don't need to ruin my voice in game one. The SCV. How does ByuN's do this? How does he do it? Why is the SCV just staying there? Explain! The SCV Whisper, he's actually halting building and sending... Oh my god. Yeah, I my thoughts exactly. Okay. I have to imagine that's the Korean version of just... sorry. Try micro, nerd. ByuN's, so BM. Wow, okay. That is one of the worst. He even brought a second probe, too. He brought a second probe. So, just to try to make sure he would shut it down. Guess what, though? ByuN's found the spot where the SCV can just be invulnerable. Beautiful. It's like, it's only fair. Probes build a building, and they don't have to stay by it. It's like, well, that... Well, now ByuN's has a Reaper. And, I don't know what I expected. Oh! Citizen's arrest! Get him out! Get him out! Okay, he deserved that. ByuN's. Oh, no, you can't talk now. Zoun, just micro. Just micro. Try micro. Oh, very satisfying. No, that was just luck. Okay, it was lag. My wrist literally exploded. It is a risk. I don't know. Well, here we are. We don't mind. Stops the Zealot and Stalker from coming up the ramp. Couple Widow Mines now. There is a command center. The barracks made it back home, but Zoun, I don't think he's gonna be too unhappy with this. Yeah, lost a probe or two. Correct, one probe. Killed the Reaper. Some mining time early. Kind of forced into a Zealot Stalker, but right now ByuN's, he can't do anything but Widow Mine drop. Now, Widow Mine drops have been a point of contention. That's a way to put it, right? They've definitely been a difficult thing to deal with in the past. But, okay, he sends one out. He's not even burrowing it there. Is he gonna send it in on its own? The Stalker's looking for it. There is no armory, so this is just your good old-fashioned drag and drop. Meanwhile, oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, beautiful micro from Zoun. That was okay. He's not biting on it. He realized in time. That was a great split, actually. And you don't get two chances. Like, sometimes speed is not better. You get one chance, because otherwise, if you mess it up, you just end up stacking up the probes even more. Of course, ByuN's not done with the mines. He's going to get his 3 racks behind as we go into a more standard 2-base composition. The mine's still threatening. Medevac boosts right back in. The Stalker's just... Zoun? He reacts. He does seem to be very aware of it. He's actually very confident in his micro against it. Some near perfect splits here. Though, losing a ton of mining time. And the probe. ByuN, oh my god. Oh, he's retargeting. He's retargeting! He got 2 with that one. Zoun is, he's splitting well, but ByuN is buying himself so much time with these mines. It's such a finicky micro and anti-micro to work with those Widow mines. It is almost counterintuitive, because you don't actually want them burrowed until you need them burrowed, and then at some point you don't want them to fire until later on. Oh, the add-on had to be canceled because it got in the way of everything here. Blink into Ghetto Blink with the Prism. A few Stalkers at the natural. Wow, so fancy. This is, yeah, this runs the risk of just failing on both fronts. But I think a little bit of pressure and then just showing the Stalker, showing the Prism, and then backing off and focusing on production. Okay, all right. You've put the fear in his heart. I don't know if fear is the right word, but the begrudging respect for the danger that Blink Stalkers pose. That's how I'm going to phrase. I doubt ByuN fears Stalkers in any way. Maybe just his fangirls. More gates. ByuN, oh wow. He has an even worker count. He has a better army supply. He's hit that stride where those orbital commands and their mules really start kicking in and allow the production to skyrocket. Whereas Zoun, on the other hand, has not finished up all his gates. He doesn't have any forge upgrades. He's getting Storm, and this is a ghostless composition. And really, Storm is going to be the only thing on the table here to really deal with the tank push, the sheer amount of bio, combat shield, the triple threat, stim combat shield +1 coming together. Charge finishing up, but the charge lots are just to buy some space. There's a couple Templar in the Prism. So far, the Templar have not been spotted. That's not a super pylon. Oh no, he warped it at the wrong pylon. The tanks split off. Gonna try to draw some fire with the Zealots potentially. Already taking some damage. That Prism looking a little sus here. That all but one tank unsieges. Shield battery overcharged. ByuN. Oh, he now sees the storms. But the damage is already done. Softened up. Another one drives it back. He has to spend more time running. He lost the Observer in the fray there. The Widowmine connected onto it. The Stalker's blinking back. ByuN able to recover and put together a solid defense and cover his own retreat. But overall, Zoun, with the storm being revealed at the right moment, is enough to drive ByuN back towards his base as he gets a third command center. Widowmine connects again. Zoun has to be careful about biting off more than he can chew as these Marauders are pounding in the damage. A single Archon gonna buffer for the rest of them. He's continuing to blink forward. The Archon kiting back loses another medevac. ByuN microing until his units have less HP than they do damage per attack. Ghost Academy on the way. He knows he needs to shave down the gateway count, because Zoun right now he has a solid 3 bases. While he doesn't have the worker count, the production is up, Storm is done. It doesn't get easier for ByuN to work with this army. He has to try to take the trades while he can, at least until ghosts come out. Because if he can't get a third, he's going to very quickly be mining out of his main, and then it just kind of spirals from there. Zoun trying to press in the bunker. The Zealots eating a whole lot of Widow Mines, microing back. Immortal at the front. High ground utilized as best he can. Sentry being warped in. Try to force field here, though I'm not sure how much that's going to help. Another Storm hits all the medevacs. Try to come down the ramp. Stimming again. Archon down. EMP lands. Another Archon bites the dust. The gateway units are falling apart. The splash damage is almost gone. ByuN trying to... He holds. He holds and he wins the fight. Not just holds, he wins. You went too deep. You dug too greedily. That's a Terran base. and you ran out of splash damage. The ghosts hit the field and the Archons evaporate. Wow. Well, I don't blame Zoun for trying to win there. It was clear he wanted to press the issue because, remember, he has no upgrades. He doesn't have any, he doesn't have a Colossus transition. All he had was Charred Lots and Storm. But those units don't play well in choke points. I mean, a Storm can, but EMP was out. The Zealots kind of fell apart. Great Storms here. Gets the Archon merge. But, oh no! Disaster! Another incidental mine hit. Hits a full prism. Sure, it was Zealots, but they went down with the ship. And suddenly, oh god, the incidental mine hits here. Just clutch it. Not another one. Double kill. Softens up the Zealots. He cannot handle the mines, and the EMPs are a real and present danger as ByuN's. Terran through everything else. EMP lands, Archon down, splitting back, sacrifices one Marine, but the storms from both flanks. Here comes Zoun. Storms over everything. Oh, not enough, though. The medevac still had just enough energy to keep things intact. Another Archon, EMP, but the Zealots are closing the distance. No more Widow Mines to save the day. The medevac's badly bruised. A strong gust of wind could potentially counter them now. They boost back. Zoun holds with the flanking storms. Needs to repair the medevac's a rare sight. In 12 years of StarCraft 2, the amount of times people repair their medevacs is an order of magnitude lower than the amount of times they should. Zoun's bought himself the space for the Colossus transition. Well, at least he thinks he has. It's required at this point. The Ghosts, the Widow Mines, the efficiency of the bio, it's diminishing returns. Go straight up counter that gateway-based army. You need robotic spec. Colossus, disruptors, they're required once the bio ball gets large enough. Otherwise, you can't take a big enough bite of it. You're pretty much relying on lucky storms, which it's ByuN's, so. Some Vikings patrolling for a prism, sensor tower. Makes it a little easier to prepare for the run-bys. Zoun has a few more workers, but the army supply is still in favor of the Korean Terran. 2-2 just started. A hectic game means minimal upgrades. Another stim in. Storm from the left flank, though, softens up the Marines. Shield battery overcharge. Another storm off the mark. Overcharge can't heal everything, just most of it. ByuN's driven back for now. The Zealot counterattack, but the stop position in CV! You shall not pass! I didn't see a permit. I can't believe that worked. Wow. The gatekeeper there. The gateway unit keeper. I don't know. That's intentional. The SCV would have moved. He had it on hold position. And the Zealots were trying to get by to they may have been right-clicked on... I don't know. But ByuN's shuts down a Zealot run-by with an SCV. A few more Zealots looking for an opportunity, but overall, the army's coming together despite the best efforts of both players. We will be going into... Wow, this is such an even game. Great match so far. They've both thrown huge punches, but not quite landed them. Another storm. ByuN's sidesteps it. Disruptors and Colossi on the field. There's not that much to deal with them. Snipe finishes off a Templar. What are you gonna disruptor drop this? Even more risky maneuvers. No SCV here to block the Zealots, but the Ghosts will easily deal with them. 2-2 finishing for ByuN. +2, +1 already for Zoun. More racks on the way. Not starports. Barracks. ByuN knows what he likes. Air ball on the disruptors. EMP lands. Splash damage getting whittled down. Vikings on the Colossi as ByuN dodges another Ruptor shot. The one Colossus badly bruised. Shield battery overcharged. Still 15 seconds out. More EMPs. Vikings in position. Guardian shield used. Zoun gonna hold for now, but the splash damage is mitigated beautifully by ByuN here. Observer helps take down that Widow Mine as the armory is clearly done. 4th base done for ByuN. 5th base for Zoun. 4th command center, 5th command center is being built. And of course, the main at this point is of minimal use for mining. As, yep, it's empty. So that orbital can maybe find a new location to hang out. Vikings in position on the high ground. EMP lands, left flank. Ghosts with the army as well. ByuN loves this. He just has ghosts everywhere. 10 ghosts on the field at the moment. Split between the armies. And this is why ByuN is so dangerous when he's in form. Only Maru for Terran players can pull this off. I've never seen any other Terran reliably split their armies to such great effect without just risking all of them. Not like ByuN doesn't risk all of them often either. We still haven't seen ByuN pick up. We still haven't seen ByuN pick up, and I'll leave that open-ended. We'll see if Zoun leaves his main open-ended, though. Yes. Very subtle context clues. ByuN can't commit too much anywhere but in the fight, though, because Zoun right now... Oh, using that little platform... The terrestrial unit's having a tough time dealing with it. The disruptors flung on both sides. ByuN working the edges here. And so far, managing to dodge all the disruptor shots. Down goes the 5th. ByuN lands another command center. Even triple mine here to deal with it. All the splash damage is ready. Shots fired. Overcharge used. The rest of the army stormed, but he's just diving forward. Shield battery overcharge keeps it intact. Another disruptor shot off the mark. Storms land. Fight on the other side. EMP on the Archons. Too much else, though. Everything will be evaporated here, except for a single medevac that desperately escapes towards the main. Redirects towards the 3rd, trying to find an angle. Zoun with a decisive victory, fires a volley. Axe. Oh, shots are starting to land here, and ByuN's fast and loose bio strategy is falling apart. He's transitioning into the Liberators. Fusion core is done, +1 ship weapons. But is it too little? And too late? The bio army is reliant on winning fights, and he just lost 2 of them. And it wasn't close. Zoun split his army perfectly. The Liberators are required to help zone this out. Otherwise, you're just relying on some mismicro out of the Protoss for the most part. The Liberators will keep the main, but down go the upgrades.
Denied.
ByuN desperately picks up whatever bio he can find and whatever medevacs he has left over. This is a desperation move. Zoun with the storms ready. The Templar. Soften this up. Overcharge was optimistic here. EMP to prevent the recall. Widow Mines killed disruptors. The planetary obliterated. 37 SCVs in the last minute. Oh god, the storms, the splash damage chasing. I believe a recall of a single Colossus here. Yeah. Well, actually, according to the battle report, ByuN has won the fight, but the war is not going his way. Disruptor shots killing zealots and bio alike. This is the only fight ByuN can hope to even have a chance at here with such a concave. No, he's out. His options. He's out of options. He has 3 Liberators. I don't know where they are. Probably still near the main. Zoun has kept his army together. He has built up the right composition, and ByuN has not been able to break it. And he hasn't done enough economic damage to justify the units he expended. Unless Zoun goes for a huge overextension. He should be able to find checkmate momentarily. Widowmine scampering by like it's the 5-minute mark. Zoun dealing with them in a similar way. Observer, look at the observers. He's got vision on the army directly. More disruptors. ByuN can only run so far. Target fires one, dodges the other, dancing back and forth. The orbital itself. Advanced ballistics is done on the Liberators. But wait, the Templar in the Prism! There's only like one ghost. Okay, well that could have been better. The army supplies are still pretty close to even. In fact, it's 3-2 upgrades on both sides. But ByuN's economy has been shattered. The fact he's still in the game is already impressive, but Zoun still has, yep. He's also impressed. Takes the power move of just tapping out instead of letting Zoun kill him. You gotta respect it. Oh, what a close game. But ByuN stayed on the bio a little too long. And, which is the most ByuN possible move. That was just a really solid game from Zoun there. Besides the slight overextension, which you can't even, like, you gotta test it. You gotta give it a shot. He held his own. Straight up. Even when the proxy racks went sideways. And by sideways, I mean the SCV. He looked like a real competitor. And in fact, the better player in that last game. Wait, that probe's pretty early. Uh-huh. What you doing there? Just chilling. What about you? Is that your pylon, or are you just happy to proxy me? Oh. It's a 2-gate, but not a full-on. It's a classical 2-gate. The one in the main in case of SCV Scout, and then you come in with just a couple extra units and try to overwhelm. Here's the thing, though. Of all the maps to go for a 2-gate, like, you can wall off the ramp on this one. So, I'm not entirely sure, because, yeah, is the Watchtower going to see the command center? No. If ByuN expanded on the low ground, this might be a good idea. But right now, this feels... Maybe if you go Warp Prism? Yeah, actually, this doesn't... This might be just the ultimate mind game of he'd never go for a gateway pressure on this map because I can wall off the main ramp. But it does feel a little miscalculated. Of course, if there are no units to defend, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, so... The Reaper, he figured it out. The Nexus timing was late. ByuN figured it out. Did he see? Yeah, he saw no second gas and a late Nexus. So, cancels. The tech lab starts the bunker. And if he didn't know before, he knows now. The SCVs are pulled. Does he go for the repair or just the secondary wall? The Reaper trying to keep things busy. Gets a good grenade. Repair! Zoun is... Oh, you know what? This is doing a lot. He doesn't have that many Marines. And the bunker's not finishing. He gets this, well, I don't know. He might be able to get the depot. He will. Well, these two are just laying into each other. These are the best type of series, though, for sure. Is when the entire game is just back and forth. We're not sitting back, like, eyeing each other across the room. All right? Just constant jabs. I think it was Neuro who described what StarCraft is like in a beautiful way. Which is like two players trying to play a duet. Like dueling pianos. Not a duet, but dueling pianos. You got pianos right next to each other, but you're also trying to stab the other dude at the same time. So you're doing your own build, your own thing, but you're constantly trying to stab the other dude. And we're not having any introduction here. We're starting with the stabbing. So not only are we both trying to play our own song, but we're also going for the stabs. And this feels very much like that sort of series so far. Getting those jabs in early. Neuro probably said it way more sagely than I did, as he does essentially everything. But I think the point comes across. A Raven. A siege tank. 4 Marines. And another Marine. Because I couldn't count the first time. What do we got? Blink. Robo. More gates. Shield battery at the front. Suspicious of a direct push. Yeah, I think the analogy is good because a lot of players think of it kind of like a chess match. But the focus is so much on your own, in this case, song. It's on maintaining some semblance of a build of your mechanics. When you describe it like a chess match, it doesn't really respect the amount of effort put in just to play the game with no opponent. Like, if there was no opponent in the game, StarCraft is not easy by any means. But you add in that part, and it gets that much more dramatic. Is it, like... He's just gonna let him have the reactor? The tank is sieging. Okay. What? Okay. He amputates the reactor in the depot, and ByuN decides to cut his losses. He just left. Where did that Raven end up? He is very scared of the Blink Stalkers. That is, like, the Raven's still at home. He retreated from the main, or from the main ramp. Auto turret kills an observer? ByuN, don't do it. Oh my god, you know he wants to. You can see it. I didn't expect him to go this direction. I think he's trying to dodge the stalkers. No, don't. No. Come on. Taking the world tour over here. And in 6 minutes, I will be in his main. There are no watchtowers to stop me. He hits the boost, which cuts down the time to 5 minutes. It's not about when you get there. It's about if they remembered medevacs exist. I didn't really have a follow-up there because it's more about when. But the important part is that it's whenever Zoun's on the other side of the map. Okay, that's the relevant part. He's not going to be expecting a medevac from that angle. Single Marine for scouting. But, and by not expecting, I mean expecting exactly this, because he knows who he's playing. And I gotta say, the preparation from Zoun in this series has been incredible. He's ready for ByuN. He knows who he's playing, and he's dealing with it. Whereas ByuN is playing as himself, alright? He is very much playing his style. We'll see if he can adapt, and if he has to by the end of it. You can see on the mini-map there. I love the little mini-map. I can't believe it took us this long to add them, but I love the mini-map cameras. They make my job so much easier, because I can tell when they're actually paying attention. If I'm paying attention, of course. I can't believe this drop is getting in, but at the same time, here we go! There's a disruptor! Tanks kind of staggered throughout. The ramp is vulnerable. Interference matrices thrown out. Interrupt one of the Ruptors. The other one, a mediocre hit. The tank on the high ground. Recall desperately to the base. ByuN gets a bunch of probes, picks up, gets out. There's a couple Blink Stalkers, but not enough to shut this down. So many of them died in the fight. So somehow, they both, after some time in their corner, just trade massive swings. And where does it land? ByuN definitely taking the better end of it. ByuN losing a tank, some bio, and a few SCVs. Archons, Stalkers, and Probes. These are harder to replace right now for Zoun. That kills some of his momentum he had. Some of that map control, but this is a similar place to the last game, where Zoun still, like, he has a dangerous army, but ByuN has a scrappier one. One that can take winning fights if you look away for a second. Kiting back. Raven is still intact, and you can't fight into those tanks. Did the medevac go down? I don't like, on the mini-map on this map, you can't see the very edges, so the medevac is there on that corner. It's still alive. Interference Matrix, Liberators much earlier this time around. This is the wanted mission. Two badly bruised Ruptors. He can't fire those shots even if he had them off cooldown. Down goes the Raven. Colossus is back online. Archon's starting to go... the Archon Disruptors! Two Archons, two Disruptors. You gotta go. You can't fight anymore. You will lose this army, Zoun. I'm completely unbiased. You have to turn around, go home. You got 4 bases. This army can no longer fight. It will lose. The upgrades aren't there. The unit composition isn't there. ByuN will pick it apart and enjoy dessert. Like, I can't believe Zoun is sticking around right now. Is this his only Colossus? Yes. He's really trying to keep... Then again, I guess he just doesn't want ByuN to be able to... Sorry, these are difficult sentences. Okay, English is the hardest language I've ever spoken. Moving on. He really doesn't want ByuN to be able to move out on the map. That's when he's most dangerous. He knows he doesn't really have the army supply. Oh, he pins him up against a force field, and he sacrifices a couple zealots to get the Ruptor hit. The force field did make the difference, and it looks like an okay trade here for Zoun, but the Stalker count is dwindling, reinforcing charge slots. ByuN definitely just hit a select all army hotkey, and is bringing the Widowmine drop back. Regroups it. Is that +3 attack? Yeah, and +2 armor started. I think this was spotted somehow. Not well enough, though. The armory's definitely done. Pops a cannon. We'll look to blink out of the mine. Observer over here blinks out of the mine. Yep, of course the armory's done. The observer placement for Zoun has been map pack level this series. He is 100% on top of it. It does get scanned, as ByuN doesn't want him to have that. Clearly. But once again, despite the best efforts of... Oh my god. Well, let's look at the incomes. Can I see Mount Mule, please? One moment. One moment, please. One more tick. Okay, one more. We'll come back to this. Fair and balanced. +2, +3. Whereas for ByuN, +3, +1. for Zoun in terms of weapons and then armor. It's starting to level. You can also see, shout out to Bob for adjusting the observer interface to show the actual income difference in real time. I really like having that. All the little quality of life stuff. Like and subscribe and say, thanks, Bob. Notable difference from Bobby, the intern. Real work gets done. Well, 185 supply. ByuN has 2 control groups with ghosts. Or at least they have ghosts in them. Zoun, on the other hand, disruptors, multiple stalker groups, 5 bases. The armies are now incredibly dangerous. Both players are fully capable of wiping the other one off the field. Oh, looks like the mule's timed out. Sensor tower down to 3 purification novas. Is this... No, that's a zealot drop. No storm there. No storm research this time around. Not bothering with that. The army caught, a valuable chunk of units. Several ghosts, a bunch of bio. The rest of the army picks up and goes to the main. Does Zoun... Oh my god, he has to know. He had to have come by. Is recall? There's no energy! He has recall, but he's gonna have to recall to the natural. The third +3 denied! In the other forge! Oh no! The upgrades are such a huge perk. There's a fleet beacon. He rebuilds the forges in the main, which, you know, like, is a choice. Dark Shrine, fleet beacon, double Stargate. He's looking to go at least Tempest, if not carriers, to deal with the Liberators, but the bio army itself is already dangerous. Finally, the proxy gate is taken out 15 minutes into the match. ByuN clearing things up now, though spotted by the observer. Zoun is maxed out. How many gateways? Only 8. Wait, what? Did he lose any? He's only built 8 gates. Which explains why he's banking some money. Of course, he's maxed out here. Both players are, despite the small skirmishes. What is the disruptor count? 5 disruptors, 2 liberators, 2 colossi, 20 marauders. Oh, ByuN. How many ghosts? 5 ghosts. The vanguard of cannons. It's like based on the supply, I don't think the disruptor shot did much. ByuN heading north. We're gonna watch the ByuN action camp for a moment. ByuN picks up, going towards the main. The rest of the army, he catches the Raptors! Broadside, dodges, split, scramble, gets them all. Definitely a winning trade for ByuN. Meanwhile, the other army picks up, gets out, heads to the other base. Oh, what a catch. Oh my, that hurts bad right now for Zoun. The only saving grace is that ByuN doesn't... Ooh, 1, he lost the East Medevacs. ByuN doesn't have advanced ballistics. In fact, he's just now starting the fusion core. And that means the Tempest will be out before the Liberators, which is actually kind of jumping the gun. Recall, a bit unnecessary. ByuN spotted it. The recall definitely helps defend the base, but I don't think he needed it right there. And that now is on cooldown for several minutes. Widowmine, of course. Vikings taken out. The scan spots the Tempest. And that means ByuN shifts out of Liberator production into Vikings. The Vikings can knock down the Colossi, of course, a counter to Tempest, and aren't horrible on the ground against these more Stalker-heavy compositions. Alright, EMPs wash across everything. Liberators looking for an opportunity. Turn the wrong way, though. The Stalkers will deal with it. The Widowmine's trying to burrow far too late. Fadeaway shot knocks into the mines and gets some bio with it. Another small group. Laser down. Extended thermal lenses turn around. The Medevacs doing their best. Widowmine spotted. How are they spotted, though? Oh, observer at the back line. Oh, that Widowmine hurts. God, the splash damage on the shields. Once again, a tough trade for both sides. Unclear exactly who's coming out on top. The units lost are about even. A few hundred more gas for ByuN, a few hundred more minerals for Zoun. both still fully mining. No bases have really been taken out. That was the decisive part of the previous game, was that ByuN had his bases gutted, and Zoun forced a winning fight because ByuN couldn't rebuild. Curveball into the Ghost. Airball into nothing. EMPs. Vikings in position. EMP lands on the Colossi, chasing it down. The Tempest have to run as well. ByuN chasing. Another Colossus down. Disruptor shots targeted. ByuN. From every angle, another disruptor shot flung out. Didn't realize where it was. Another one. He's tearing through everything. There's nothing left to stop this. The last disruptor is down. Gateway units scrambling for the hills, but there's no hills to scramble to. Fuel battery overcharge is not enough to stop this much bio. 3-3 is done. Carriers on the way? What are those gonna do? But at the same time, the DTs eviscerated the base. It's not over yet. Zoun killed the planetary. 28 SCVs down. He sacrificed his entire army, but the damage to the economy has been done. Oh no, it looked like ByuN was about to raise the trophy here, but he didn't realize the knife in his back. And suddenly, once again, ByuN down on economy. And the DTs got out. Zoun is trying to, oh my god, he's fighting. He's fighting with Blink DTs. And ByuN may... There's so many ghosts. These armies are ridiculous. Where are the disruptors? They're required. He needs something. Micros through the Ruptor shot. The army's still incredibly dangerous. Curveball into the Ghost. That was his last Ruptor shot for now. The carriers have arrived, but I don't know. The carriers are more of a liability. There's so many Vikings on the field. EMPs on everything. You can't overcharge that hard. ByuN picks up accidentally. The Vikings target down the carriers. A bit of a misplay on the unit composition from Zoun. He needed more splash damage on the ground. Instead, he took to the skies, and now he's knocked down. ByuN ties it up 1-1 because this game is over and done. Oh, wait, no, the detail. Never mind, EMP. Whew. For exactly 1/4 second, it looked like something dramatic was going to happen. 1-1. It's a best of 5. So, we're just getting started. Honestly, those two games already. One of my favorite series. I try to show good games for the fans, but this is my favorite StarCraft. I would never want to play it. Maybe I'm just old now, but oh god, it looks exhausting. It just constantly... All of these attacks are deadly. Every single... Even from the early Gateway and those Widowmine attacks, they're all deadly. Any one of those could have been a game-ending move. And that's what is so dramatic about it. It's not like positioning or trying to skirmish and get map control. No. They're going for it. Outright kill attempts. And just barely blocked or counterattacked. Looks like we're going to start out Game 3 with everyone's buildings remaining in their own base. Disappointing. Here on Moondance. Double gas for ByuN. We've seen this kind of make a resurgence. Just early factory, kind of a TVT build, but against Protoss allows you to get the factory out, which either for Cyclone or just quicker mines, just in general gives you options instead of getting bullied by the early Protoss units. ByuN is going to opt for the Reaper. He is pulling just one off of gas. 2. Makes me lean towards the Cyclone. A forward wall from Zoun, which is all well and good as long as they can't, you know, jump over cliffs or something, but that seems like it'd be OP. He does know where to send. He can temporarily, like, battery wall the front and then send his units to the main if he needs to, which he will momentarily. ByuN's scouting. They're both scouting. Yeah. They've... Honestly, I wonder if part of the reason Zoun did that is just to make sure ByuN had the same level of fear that he does of the proxy. Now we're even. I'm surprised at how well the 2-gate did for being that map as well. We're gonna... It is definitely not as favorable when you have just a single ramp to work with. Blink, again, 3 for 3. He loves that Blink opener. Stargate is, I'd say, like half and half right now. It's more of a stylistic choice. Stargate versus Blink. But Zoun favoring the Blink Stalkers. Of course, Stargate is the most vulnerable to mines, while still being the best way to counter them. As, of course, an Oracle gets one shot by a Widow Mine, but is the only reliable early detection. Observers are just, you know, slow, and they don't shoot anything. Though maybe that's the buff Protoss needs. Observers, but, like, with water balloons. Like, wouldn't that just give away their position? Shh. Shh, don't worry about it. And there's no sound when they attack. They attack silently. ByuN with the 2 Reaper Hellion. I believe that's enough to take out a Stalker. It's enough to take out a single gateway unit. Oh no, he attack moved the rocks! Oh, that's gonna slow down his response slightly. And then the most obvious... Oh, come on. He's been playing such... he does have the shield battery, okay. I definitely did not give Zoun enough credit here. He's been defending these attacks. Honestly, near perfect. That was shut down. I did not really factor in the shield battery at all. This has been a bit of a mess. Oh, come on. Oh, no, 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 no! That could have been so much worse. It was not great. Oh, Widow Mines. The greatest cause of blood pressure increase since a probe ever. He's been handling it so well, but ByuN has been getting craftier and craftier. And that is exactly the phrase I want to use. These Widow Mine drops have been getting more and more nuanced as time goes on, as he just tries to wait out. Well, it looks like Zoun gonna go for the old punch him in the face strat here, as he goes for the tech lab on the factory. We'll get it. Tank already in production. Liberator sieges. Oh, that Stalker needs to move. That Stalker needs to move now. Oh no! The Liberator catches it as it blinks out. Oh no! Oh god, this hurt. No, he's actually mining the gas, which means... Oh no. This is why you can't take any damage. Because it starts spiraling out of control. Zoun. Wow, it's a total disaster. It's an absolute tragedy. He's down to 33 probes. Between the mining time lost and the actual probes killed, this is... He's just way far behind. There's no saving grace. This is not anywhere close to the other games. Blink Stalkers do not have that exponential damage potential. I have no idea how Zoun's going to defend the tank push. ByuN is already building up for it. The only thing Zoun was able to do is slow down the third on location, but ByuN's now just building at the front. It's just going to be charged. No, it's done too much. You can't take any damage from these early attacks. Otherwise, you lose so much momentum that it's a prayer. It's a prayer. He sees no gas, which means it's probably just charge lots. Why? And ByuN's like, you know what could make this more interesting? If I just lose a medevac to Blink Stalkers. He sends out a medevac that for some reason has only 3/4 HP. Don't you have any... No, they used medevac. Observer killed. Zoun has been really focused on the probes. Oh my god. Almost loses them. Micros back the tanks. Like that StarCraft Master mission when you technically can dodge every stalker shot with the tanks. Which, good luck with that one. Pro tip, hold position the medevac and never click on it directly. If you're struggling, watch my guide. First try every time. So, ByuN has correctly realized Zoun, the only thing, he's staying at home because he scanned and saw no gases at the natural. What does that mean? That means charge lots. What is the biggest risk against charge lots? Caught out of position. Just getting overwhelmed by the sheer number. If he stays with his tank sieged up a ramp, he's in a winning position. If he waits until it goes, a critical mass of medevacs, winning position. Losing position is getting whittled down before you have enough units. There is no splash damage here from Zoun. The medevac gonna come in. It will wait unless... Oh my god, what a mistake. ByuN making it slightly more interesting. Still not gonna even things out. Widow Mines ready to connect. They hit an Immortal. And ByuN making it interesting here. 3 Immortals is a lot, but there's not that much in front of them. Here comes like 20 more bio supply. I don't know. Yeah, that's yep, okay. Yeah. I was wondering. ByuN just tearing through on this one. Not particularly close. The early damage was done. Clearly overwhelming. Maybe we go back to that early pressure. There's a reason I think that Zoun went for it in the previous match. You do not want to let ByuN get to... You don't want to let him take control of the game. Because... It feels like a bit of a cop-out to use it as the entire explanation, but I'm just going to go with, it's ByuN. So, this is why Zoun was almost overextending in Game 1 and 2. Just to keep ByuN bottled up in his base. Because you let him out. Oof. Doesn't make it easier. Sir, that's not your base. But it is a base. I don't, yeah, Zoun not. He's just scouting across the map. There are too many locations here. Game 4. Tropical Sacrifice, much more standard. Pretty much at the standard of macro maps. Your Cloud Kingdom-esque platform bases. even that last game, it shows how thin the margins are, I think. ByuN getting one Widow Mine and one Liberator, and then things crumbling. Part of the reason why players will go for the Stargate opener. Oh, is that a Zealot? Yeah. He scouted the lack of barracks. What am I saying? The probe came in and saw no barracks, which doesn't mean ByuN forgot his barracks, believe it or not. Probe asked politely yet firmly to leave. The barracks is heading home. The Reaper, microwing. 0 kills, 1 kill. The citizen's arrest attempted. ByuN getting a little spicy with it. Loses 2 probes. Wait, did he lose the probe? He lost the probe on the other side to SCVs. Which is, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Bit of a yikes. Command center on the way. Is this worth it? Like, I always wonder. Because his barracks is a long way from being home, participating in the general production. Reaper, as long as there's an early enough probe scout, this is going to be found out. ByuN does seem to feel it's worth it. But then again, ByuN will he'd probably give up his firstborn child if he could micro Reapers for a minute longer in the average game, so. And who wouldn't, really? Much more fun. It's gonna be a Widow Mine drop behind it. Daring today, aren't we, ByuN? Four months on the reactor factory. The Reaper does keep a lot of the units tied up in the base. And of course, even if they aren't tied up in the base, it scouts them moving out. That's part of the reason Game 1 was so difficult for ByuN. Was losing that Reaper is not just losing your potential to do damage, but losing your vision and just your ability to keep tabs on the Protoss. Let alone keep them in their base, so. And right now, we've seen that. The Reaper distracting any amount. Zoun scouted it at the last second. He's got Blink on the way again. One Widow Mine taken out. The other one able to burrow. And 2 more in that medevac. His Widow Mine defense has been capable thus far. Last game, a little shakier. ByuN, not even bothering, just gonna leave. Reaper trying to keep track of the third. Yeah, Zoun knows the timing, right? That 4:30. Actually, ByuN's Widow Mine drop. This is 4 Widow Mines at like 4:20. So, which is quicker than your average standard like 1 Rax expand Widow Mine drop. It's more like 4:30, 4:35. And he had all 4. So that's the benefit of the 2 gas. Even before Warp Gate really kicked in. The mine drop still existing, which is pinning these stalkers back in the base. Couple tanks on the way as ByuN builds up to the 311. Low ground. Wants more space for activities. I think maybe doesn't want it vulnerable to blink stalkers as well. That is something factoring in here. Just where you lay out your buildings is a big part of them surviving. Protoss players can learn a thing or two from that. Building all their tech on the edge of the main where ByuN's going to drop. Robo Bay on the way alongside charge. The Blink Stalkers in a holding pattern. Reaper still alive. Hops in, hops out. ByuN with the triple threat on the way. +1 stim combat shield. Oh, come on. Oh my god. He's going for probe kills. Ooh. 3 more gates. Up to 6 here. 4. Maybe all 5. Third. Okay. Zoun is a little too diligent with his... He's actually got his observers laid out, I think, checking for medevacs. And maybe a bit of overkill here. He knows who he's playing. And he's remedying the biggest weakness from last game, which is the lack of splash damage. Of course, that wasn't the biggest weakness of last game. The biggest weakness of last game was losing 8 probes and not mining for several minutes. That was the biggest weakness, but the biggest weakness he really had direct control over, I guess. Dangerous looking tank push moving out. Good blank. Oh no, crouching disruptor fires the shot! ByuN. Ooh. What was that, 1, 2, 3 kills. Great reaction time on ByuN. That first shot is sometimes the decider, but not this time. Widowmine drop dealt with. 3 probes taken out. So ByuN strikes back during all this. The army, the ground army. Widowmines. Disruptor shot to the back. He forces. All he hits is a zealot. Zoun missing the mark entirely on these. It's a good attempt, but ByuN sidesteps it. The Widowmines did more than enough. It's +1/+1. Another disruptor charged up. Easily can be dodged by these Stim Marines and Marauders as long as there's enough to back it up here. Fires the shot. Everyone dodges it. Meanwhile, though, the mine drop. He's killed no probes. Okay, and he deals with this. There is no armory. These have been some low upgrade, high production games. Neither player thinking that a +1 upgrade is going to make the difference when disruptors and EMP and Widowmines are on the field. Especially compared to just having 5-10 more supply of units. Yeah, no amount of armor upgrades will save you from a purification nova. As those Marines find out, oh, a full medevac gun down as ByuN wanders too far afield. And suddenly Zoun has the ability to press forward. There's just not enough damage here. Negates the Widowmine shots. Another disruptor shot goes for the mines, gets 3. No more Ruptor shots, but there should be enough damage. Oh, he just decides on the SCVs. 11 SCV kills. More charge lots wandering in. ByuN may have bitten off more than he can chew. And now has to scramble back to defend his orbital. Half HP here, but the Marauder count is pretty damn high. One more Disruptor shot could break this all open, but at the same time, ByuN easily could collapse and kill all these Stalkers and Ruptors if they overcommit. Another Ruptor shot is charged. More Zealots wandering across. The Disruptor that was charged up, it's just Marauders. The Stalkers, just a strong glance from this many Marauders. Here come the medevac save the day. 2 Stalkers are all that's left. The charge lots, 21 SCVs down. Zoun doesn't have a ton of probes himself. He went for essentially like an all-in gateway timing. He's got 9 gates. He's now rebuilding probes. He's getting a 4th Nexus, but he's only at 56 probes. If ByuN realizes this, he can just hold his ground and rebuild the army composition. Because Zoun is relying on this momentum right now. There's a clear observer here, so we'll see. Yep, ByuN scans, deals with it. I wasn't sure exactly where it was based on that scan. ByuN still has enough workers to make a game of it, though Zoun has a dangerous amount of Gateway Ruptor. Oh, blinks out of one of the Widowmines. Shots fired in here. Gotta be careful. Kills some Zealots with it. The Marauders trying to hold the front line. You gotta be careful. You don't want to get backed into a corner, but at the same time, you have to fight those Zealots. Those side blades dangerous here. Continued. A few SCVs pulled. The Orbital's still not at full HP, though the Stalkers don't want to spend too much time on it. The boys are pulled to try to do the damage here. Disruptor shot fired. 2 Marauders clipped. Another round of charge lots. 15 SCVs down. In behind the minerals, and Zoun ties it up. 2-2. The momentum was enough. He was warping it across the map. Oh, ByuN not able to sidestep enough here. Oh. A difficult series for both sides. It's not over yet. These proxy Rexes are not like... Zoun does not respect him. He doesn't care. He's dealing with the early pressure. Honestly, the only game so far that Zoun struggled with has been the most standard game, which was the, like, expand into mind drop against Blinkstalker. But all these proxy games, even the one he lost, have been... It felt a lot more comfortable, which is kind of a weird place to be. Well, game... The last game. The last... Game 5. I can count. I know my numbers. Is the number of likes you've given to this video 0 or 1? That's an important question as well. Subscribe, 0 or 1. It's pretty binary. A probe, start of the game, directly across the map. But this is a scouting probe. ByuN, building his barracks and his main. Data C is the map. I'm wondering, like, I'm thinking about what went wrong for ByuN there. I guess he committed to some really significant, like he cut his economy to do damage. He just didn't do that much. But he definitely overextended on the field. By the way, Zoun skipped Colossi straight to Ruptor. And that's a bold call. It worked out for him, even though the first shots didn't land. But almost always, the play is to go for like 2-3 Colossi and then go into Disruptor to kind of fill out the composition. But he skipped the Colossi for Disruptors, and it paid off eventually. It's not like the Disruptors landed huge hits. They're the most dangerous force field you can have. They just pushed ByuN's army away, sometimes pushed him into medevacs, and then the Blinkstalkers finish him off. One bad fight, though, and it could have tilted right back the other direction. I'll see. It's Data C. This could be a 48-minute game. As we've seen many times before, Data C is your feature-length map. And your obligatory water map as well. We must always have... It doesn't have to be a water map, because really to my understanding in the map editor, is you can essentially, there's like a gravity setting where you can set not just underwater, but like a certain level of how units are tied to the map, essentially. Like, do they die like normal gravity, or do they float up, stuff like that, with the amazing animations. One of my favorite maps called Earthrise, which was in the Team Liquid map contest, where it has like moon gravity. So a lot of the stuff would still stay near the ground, but occasionally things would slowly float away. Like, not quite like the underwater maps, but you know, like moon gravity. So that it isn't like an on or off, but instead a bit of a slider, from my understanding. Of course, I don't make maps, I just judge them, so because it seems really hard and detailed and somewhat unrewarding nowadays. Though I do appreciate all the work people put in. Oh yeah, and in case you're watching this right now, you happen to be a map maker, Team Liquid map contest, you still got a few more days to submit, I believe. Which one is it? While we have a tiny bit of downtime. Yes, until October 10th of 2022. So, show me what you got. And if you're watching this in 2025 and trying to relive before I became the most household name as an esports caster for Stormgate, well, I hope I lived up to your expectations. Thank you for watching. Tell your mother I said hi. Blink. Can you believe it? 5 out of 5. This is 4-gate blink? 3-gate. But with a prism. A spicy start. Not the first try to prism here, but is this... It was just an attempt at a Hellion drop, but it did so little. It did literally nothing. So, we're just going to gloss over it. Well, now it's getting a little more. 3 Hellion hits to kill a probe. The blink is good. It gets 5 probes. Okay. He lost the medevac and all the Hellions. Also, Hellions, by their very nature, out of the factory, slow down tank production. That means Zoun does have an opportunity. The Raven is headed across the map, and it's actually going to be spotted by the probe. And I think that's going to give the green light here for some real heavy blinking. Whoa, where are you going? Where is he going? He recalls half the Stalkers down. Instead of committing to the attack because of the Raven, he falls back, which he's going to kill the Raven. So that's something. Feels like he kind of missed an opportunity to really commit and get some damage done with Blink. But it was a decisive call to deal with that Raven. ByuN obviously not expecting such a dramatic response. A bit of a questionable third command center location here. Couple more barracks on the way for ByuN. Third base is on the way for Zoun. Once again, the probe count kind of lacking. Zoun is really focused. It's a tank. Yeah, the third command center could be delayed potentially, though. ByuN with plenty of units in the main. Oh, he's on the little Reaper platform as well. A bit shaky. Oh, what? Blink in the ghetto blink, I guess. He's just fighting the Marines. Okay. Interesting. ByuN clearly not expecting such a commitment in that fight. A lot of those Stalkers, unfortunately, I don't think Zoun can ask the SCVs for a repair, which is the only way you can get those Stalkers back to full HP. In team games, a little bit more capable, but... Yeah, everybody stop. Sounds like, would you repair my Stalkers, though, bro? ByuN does not respond, which is kind of rude. And then the observer says, why would you ask that? Like, come on, bro. Let's just play. And ByuN's like, all right, ready. Very serious. Only comment. Says it in English as well. Seven more gates. He's going up to 10-gate Ruptor. He's skipping Colossi again. Straight into Ruptor. 4th Nexus. Meanwhile, Ghost Academy, which is kind of the opposite direction, and Ghosts are never bad against Protoss, but they're better against the Templar tech path than the Robotics Bay, because, of course, EMP is much more effective against the Templar-based splash damage, and Disruptors are a real and present danger to every bio unit. Of course, well, it's like it... all right. Does your wife know you're out here? Don't worry, she's already disappointed in me because I've been playing World of Warcraft. We don't need to talk about it. Which is the appropriate response. I'll give her that. Well, +1 on the way. For who? Both sides. Already done. +1 armor on the way now. The Stalkers trying to fight the Bio Army, but so many of them already bruised as well. Charge lots being added in. We're getting into that kind of hectic mid-game. Though, since Data C is so far spread out, neither player really committing. And I think we're kind of feeling that Game 5, both exhaustion and caution. Like, the first 2 games were just throwing haymakers, like the first 2 rounds of, you know, the boxing and other of you know, those kind of fights. But after 5 rounds, people get tired. And right now, both players looking a little tired. Trying to make sure they don't take the game-losing fight instead of the game-winning one. Alright, well, that disruptor not even remotely close to where it needed to be. Firing over the top of the rocks, like much like disruptors can't. Zealot's trying to do something, getting much less. Extended thermal lance. Colossi now being added in after the Ruptors. After ByuN's committed to essentially no anti-Colossus besides the Bio Army. EMP on the Nexus. No recall there. EMP, and also makes it easier to kill. No, the army was in position to deal with it. Getting chased down. ByuN somehow manages to take good trades in these fights. Despite, you know, like, the minerals killed. He's killed 16 Zealots. He's gonna lose some ghosts. Another army. The Disruptor is completely off the mark. Another Ruptor clips a mine. During the fight, 19 Zealots down. 20. The Zealots just can't close the distance. All misdirection here. Well, ByuN kind of took the opportunity to kill the other base. He picks up the other units. The much more supply of units is like, yeah, what about us? And he says, you know what, just kill these 2 Disruptors, no problem. Still not a horrible trade for the expendables there. Unless he loses these medevacs. Overall, ByuN getting way more minerals, though some valuable units taken out by Zoun as well. Well, ByuN is managing to escape somehow. Yeah, no vision in that one corner. The map is dark and full of Terrans. 3 Colossi. This is a dangerous army for any Terran to face, especially one who's 1 upgrade behind, actually. 2-2 is on the way. A little over 30 seconds out. EMP hits everything, but ByuN's gonna have to take a incredible fight here. There are no Vikings. The Marauders trying to hold their ground, but the Colossi are burning through. There is a base trade level army. Widowmine comes in from the north, lands a shot. Another Disruptor. It does land and takes a lot of the teeth out of the counterattack. The Ghost Academy, for some reason, was walling off here. There are no Vikings. 4 about to pop out. 2-2 is now done, seconds after most of his bio units die. But the flank, the few Marauders left over, the Vikings coming in to clear out the Colossi. The Zealot count is getting whittled down. The Ghost will hold. And when ByuN was backed up into a corner, that's when he is most dangerous. The snipes on the Zealots, and suddenly Zoun plummets under 100 supply. ByuN actually wins the fight, takes out 2,000 more minerals of units. Zoun killed some of his own Zealots, it appears here. In suddenly a 40 supply gap, the Vikings come out, the flank comes in, the Colossi crumble. EMPs are still landing. There's still enough energy. That Disruptor needed to land. And without it, ByuN may be tearing through. Oh no! At the end of the day, ByuN halts. When it all looked lost in that final fight, you know what? I think it's worth another look. And we see exactly what went down there. Because we know how it ends. So now everybody can pretend like they knew that ByuN was going to win the fight. We're going to slow it down a bit. From the ByuN cam. EMP on all the Zealots. Brings the Bio Army in. He's going to just, well, stims, EMP, finds a position, box selecting, moving units out of the way. Another EMP, micros back a group of Marines. Continuing the split, looking for more. Realizes, well, the zealot count has been whittled down, but I still can't fight. Stims for that disruptor. Realizes, shit. It happens. 2-2, finishing up. Pulls the SCVs on the left flank. EMP as well. EMP lands on the army, actually stutter stepping forward. In come the Vikings. Stutter stepping back with the ghosts. Even more bio coming up to the front. Only stutter stepping back the units in the front. Now this was honestly a little lucky, as he just kind of A-moved the units and they found the Colossi of their own volition. And ByuN's like, oh wow, actually, that's pretty great. ByuN setting himself up for success there. Yeah, he sacrificed the SCVs as he bottled up the zealots on the left flank. And that allowed him time. His 2-2 kicked in. The rest of the units came out, a few Vikings as well, and suddenly... Oh, this hurt. Zoun had it till the finish line. Oh, that hurts for Zoun. It was such a good series for him, too. He played really well, but... he cornered ByuN, and he didn't quite finish him off. Hopefully you enjoyed that AlphaX Super Series match. Thank you to the AlphaX player and team for putting it on. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I made your day, a decent chunk of it, a little bit better. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Check out this video. Is it better? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. Jimmy, put the video up. Pretend it's there. Stay chill.